Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Final Destination 2, starring Ali Larter, AJ Cook, Michael Landis, and Tony Todd, directed by David R. Ellis. Now, I have seen this movie once or twice in my life, but I'm interested in coming back to it as a movie. So let's see how this goes. Let's get into this movie. We pick up 1 year after the first Final Destination film, and we hear an interview with a man about the term of events as he calls it death, just like what it just like what I called last time. And we pick up with a new character named Kimberly Corman, played by AJ Cook, with her friends, and while they're driving, they drive by a motorcycle man whose girlfriend shows the guy her privates, let's call it, as the guys throw out some weed packed up in a cigarette and throws it at Kat's car, which we'll get to at some point, while a state trooper is behind them and a truck full of logs start killing people, starting with the state trooper, which is the same amount of time as the first film, as we get the deaths in the first 10 minutes of the film as Kimberly flips to the car on a log and sees everyone burning, and the truck kills them off. And we go back to the beginning of the scene as Kimberly saw it with her eye, and she whines about how there's going to be an accident as the state trooper gets Kimberly out of the car to talk with her while holding up traffic. And the state trooper and Kimberly witness the accident, and death comes for Kimberly's friends and kills them off rather too quickly, I must say, while they go to the police station. And Kimberly is led to believe she's having the same premonition as Alex from the last film, while she brings up what happened the year before, and the only survivor is Clear Rivers, returned by Ali Larter, who will appear later in the film, as the acting is much worse than last time, and the deaths were rather problematic, with the logs falling out of a chain truck, which can happen in real life, but it was executed in that scene. But how it was executed in that scene was unfortunately not good enough for me. Meanwhile, a blondie named Evan Lewis, who won the lottery before the movie ever started, cooks some food that is burning up and gets stuck in a sink while his food is burning, and makes his apartment burn while trying to put it out with the fire extinguisher, and escapes his apartment and falls down from his spaghetti he threw out the window and gets a ladder death, which is kind of clever, but not as clever as the last time, as this isn't entertaining me as much as last time. Everyone involved in the accident watches the TV and sees not only the accident, but Evan's death was on the news, and 2 deaths in one day, because death I thought went only one by one for days, but doesn't seem to be the case in this movie. Kimberly looks up Claire's situation on the internet and finds her address as she's in a mental hospital, as they think she's fucking crazy, as she talks with Claire, as Claire explains Death's list and is after Kimberly, as well as the other people get their deaths backwards, as her friends died first instead of last. And Evan dies before the last death, as Kimberly leaves and tells Claire off, and the scene was rather badly acted by both of these actors. Kimberly realizes Nora and her son Tim are next on the list while they're in the dentist office, as I felt Tim deserved to die as he doesn't feel any pain, and the dentist checks his mouth and gives him some gas coming on and leaks on the floor, and a pigeon breaks inside in the dentist office. And does this sound familiar, anybody? Even though it was after this movie, excuse me. As Tim gets a toy fish in his mouth, and as they leave, Tim goes towards the pigeons and gets his death from construction around the place, as this death was predictable as soon as he was in the dentist office. Kimberly gets home by Thomas Burke, played by Michael Landis, and Claire helps them out, starting by talking with Mr. Bloodworth, returned by Tony Todd, as he tells them they can't cheat death while pulling a ring out of Evan's chest, which looked rather fucking painful. And he was the only presence and character I liked in this movie, as the other characters, like the last time, I just don't like them, as they're not great on their arcs. But this series isn't about arcs, it's about deaths. And these are clever, but not as much as last time, I must say. They go to the pregnant woman who was in a white truck, while the survivors meet at Thomas's apartment, as the African American man Eugene could win first prize by almost experiencing death by a canoe, which is probably the best death trap I've seen in any movie, as it was brilliant. I'll give the movie that. Nora and Eugene leave the apartment while a funny looking guy sees a man with hooks, and Eugene sees the man with the hooks being a pervert, and Thomas calls her and warns her about the man and with hooks, as her hair will get stuck by his hooks and her head is decapitated by the elevator, which was a death I've seen before. Eugene tries to commit suicide after Nora's death, and they decide to find the pregnant woman while she gets arrested by a highway patrolman, which was kind of a stupid move on his part, I'll say. The pregnant woman's water breaks while in the jail cell, and the highway patrolman is forced to take her to the hospital while Thomas and Kimberly, Clear, and Eugene and others are on their way to the pregnant woman. And I thought about shouting at the screen, "Get her the fuck out of there!" As the choices in these scenes are questionable, just like it's questionable to have a baby in a crisis like this. And their car gets off the road and almost killed by something in a barn, but Eugene is stabbed and can't breathe as they encounter each other. And some people call an ambulance while Kat gets her legs stuck on the car, which seems kind of fucking dangerous, as she gets killed when a firefighter tries to get her out. And her death wasn't good because it was obvious, but Rory's death, who was was rather interesting, as he gets chopped up in multiple ways. The pregnant woman Isabella gets to the hospital and tries to deliver her baby as she forces it, while Eugene gets choking up death by reacting rather violently, while Isabella gives birth to a baby boy, as Kimberly has a vision and Clear is finally dead, as she didn't feel much useful to this movie, as Eugene forcefully pulls the plug and dies a burning death, while with Clear, which was rather unoriginal. Kimberly goes to the ambulance truck and drives it in the water, while Thomas goes after while Kimberly realizes she has to die, but the doctor forces her back alive while Thomas is watching her and tells her they cheated death, which is very unrealistic, while Kimberly and Thomas go to the family who saved their lives place for a barbecue. And the sun explodes, which means they didn't cheat death, as it'll come near them, and the climax was rather poor. And that's all I gotta say about it at this point. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 4.7 out of 10. The deaths were clever at times, but most of them weren't that original. The movie isn't about characters or their arcs, it's about deaths, as a horror movie works perfectly for this movie. The movie was rather unrealistic, as I can't remember any of the characters' names, nor do I care about any of them, as it does a poor job making me like them to begin with. It's just a shame. After the first one, it dies down like that. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with Final Destination 3. And until then, you can't cheat death. Death will come for you.